Hi, how's everyone doing? How is everyone doing? Wow, it feels great. It feels fantastic to be speaking about this game after yesterday, really. Wow, what a fucking result, man. What a result. Best believe my chest is going to be out. I'm proud tomorrow evening on the Big Six. I'm going to move reckless. Because the slander on Spurs, it's just been battering after battering after battering for the past 3 weeks. So now it's my turn. It's my turn. So I hope them man know I'm coming with a fucking sledgehammer tomorrow. But thank you all for tuning in to my stream. You can tell my voice is my voice is gone somewhat. It was a long day yesterday. It was a long day, man. And games like yesterday are what football's about for me, man. Like, supporting a team should not be circumstantial. It should always be with success, with failure. Of course, you'll make your jokes about Spurs where's a success, but supporting your team, it shouldn't even be a thing that you sort of think about. And just knowing that me and probably around over 3,000 other Spurs fans made that trip all the way up to Manchester in poor conditions. Let's not forget, because Storm Eunice was a factor this week. That fucked up a lot of train issues for people. People had to drive. People had to leave early. It was snowing in different parts of the north as well. So it wasn't an easy fixture to get to, or it wasn't an easy location to get to. It's like a 3 hour 15-minute drive with no traffic, 4 hour drive with traffic. So the fact that the traveling support made their way to Manchester, to the ground, the home of the champions, knowing that we were 3 games without a win, 3 straight losses, and everyone literally writing us off. Even me. I predicted a 2-1 win on the Big Six, but I didn't truthfully believe that, because there was nothing to indicate that we were going to go there and get a result. But boy, that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. Those type of wins are the best kinds of wins, man. Unexpected, the best kinds of wins. The best kinds of wins. And yeah, the away support was phenomenal, man. Absolutely phenomenal. The performance from the players, phenomenal as well, man. It's just, yeah, brilliant performance. Let me just quickly go through some chats before I actually begin. So JRG Make says, here we go, Bentancur and Romero. I already knew CR4 Romero was the real deal after that final v Brazil. My man played with injections in that final because he was injured, and he still pocketed Brazil's best players, Neymar and Paqueta. Listen, I watched that final as well. That's before I even fully knew about Romero. And I just said, who the fuck is this centre-back? Like, Argentina defensively been rock solid. He was quality that game, but Argentina with full value for the 2-0 win, completely shackled Brazil. Absolutely shackled Brazil. 1 second. Let me just try and find who his partner was in that final. Trying to remember, or was it 1-0? I think when Di Maria scored that set goal. They had so many chances that game. Argentina, so many chances. But anyway, yeah, he's quality, but we'll speak about him in a second. Loads of Antobio comments. Big up Sustainable Shooter, continuous viewer. Thank you for tuning in, bro. Miles says Romero is my king. Romero is elite. Big up the chat as well. Big up the chat. Make sure you smash the likes. 119 of you in here already. Smash the likes. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Ollie says, Cooley, what a player. I think we got our front three. Bentancur and Hojbjerg look good in midfield. Good to have Dier back with Romero. Mate, Dier was fantastic. But listen, we're going to speak. I'm gonna make sure to get through all of this in sufficient time. This ain't going to take me more than probably 35 minutes, but there's a lot to talk about, man. Peter says, waiting for skullfuggery madness on Big Steve. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, because it's been me the past couple of weeks. I am literally relishing that video tomorrow. Skull, if you're watching, boy, put this in that clip as well. Why not, man? Tuchel says, Romero was superb. showed why elite clubs after him, and Lloris redeemed himself. Kane, Son, Højbjerg, everyone was superb. Yep, to a man, I cannot fault that. Lots of comments coming in. I won't be able to get through all of them, but just keep sending them in, and I'll just keep picking them at random, folks. But let's actually talk about the game. Let's talk about that fucking game, man. Wow, what a game! I think initially getting there and then seeing the lineup as well. I was, as we said, we're never really going to be content with the lineup, yeah. But right now, it is what it is with Spurs. But that being said, there are certain players in this team that really shouldn't be playing when everyone's fully fit. And I think with Antonio Conte, he wasn't infallible. Like, I think his managerial performance across Wolves and Southampton wasn't good. Southampton, he was a bit too slow with the substitutions, and the subs were wrong. The shape was wrong. Against Wolves, when he switched to a back four, not bringing on Reguilon was criminal. Just weird, unnecessary things like that. Not going to a three-man midfield to start with, but I was calm with the lineup, with exception of maybe Session in that left wing back, simply because I really don't have any faith in Sess. But I was calm with the lineup. I was happy that Kulusevski was starting. All of my friends that were with me, they were telling me, "Oh no, why is Kulu starting? Lucas Moore should have started this game." I said, "No, he shouldn't have. The move should be a 3-4-1-2 for me. For me, that's my optimal shape for this team. I think we are at our best defensively in a 3, and I think the 3-4-1-2 helps bridge that gap that we have in midfield, where our two playing in double pivot get outnumbered." So me, I was happy. I was happy with Kulusevski's inclusion. But yeah, as I mentioned, with Ryan Sessegnon, it's one of them ones where I just didn't really have any faith in Sess, and I still don't. I'll be honest, I still don't. But we'll get into the game. It was good to see Eric Dier back. I can't believe I'm saying it, but it was really good to see Eric Dier back. It was good to see Dier back. He's been out for a couple of weeks, and I think him being back meant that we could play what is on paper our best back three pairing, which tells you everything you need to know. But yeah, our best back three pairing. It meant that we didn't have to start with Davinson Sanchez, who's been out of form for a good couple of weeks now, after seemingly playing well initially under Antonio Conte. So it was one of them ones where it's like, you know what, we just gotta give it to them, man. We just gotta give it to them. That's that try. I said it on the Big Six. I said it on my preview. God loves a trier, and damn, Spurs fans would have loved a trier as well, because it's like, for me, when you look at the games against Chelsea, pathetic in the second half. When you look at the game against Southampton, we got bossed from start to finish. When you look at the game against Wolves, we just gave away dumb goals. Yeah, there is no shame in losing to Man City. There is no shame whatsoever in losing to Man City. They are the best team in the land. But what we can't have is this team not trying and not doing the bare basics to a good standard after what has been a wretched run of form. 3 straight losses, 2 of them being at home against a side placed, like 12th for lower, and then Wolves as well, who are doing well, but still, something had to give. Whether it was a result, whether the performance, or both, something had to give. We needed a reaction. Conte needed a reaction. Those players needed a reaction. The fans needed a reaction. And Man City, they played this. Listen, for me, that was as strong as they could get, bar maybe the inclusion of Mahrez for maybe Phil Foden. But their team was strong. Rodri was playing. Diaz and Laporte, that's their two best centre-backs. That's the best centre-back pairing this season. Cancelo played, their best fullback. Kyle Walker played, the second best fullback. Yeah. Kevin De Bruyne played. Ilkay Gundogan, remember last season, face planting Davinson Sanchez, he played. Sterling, hot in form, he played. Bernardo Silva, he played. Yeah, so really and truly, the only player who I think missed out of the lineup that probably should have started is Riyad Mahrez. But even then, Nobody's looking at that lineup and saying, oh, wow, because Man City's dropped Riyad Mahrez, they're not going to win this game. Everyone was expecting us to get smoked. Literally everyone. Everyone was expecting Tottenham to get smoked, get their asses handed to them. But what we saw unfold was something different. Let me just quickly go through some comments. So that was my view on the lineup. Happy with Kulusevski starting, and happy with the shape. I think that's the shape to go. Either 3-5-2 or 3-4-1-2. I think that's the way it should go. I think the 3-4-3 forces Spurs to play a system that doesn't really suit us, which is the two in midfield. I think we get overrun way too easily, and I think it forces us to play an archetypal right winger. And Lucas Moura is the one who plays right wing, but I've said many a time he's not good enough to be starting week in, week out for Spurs. He's done okay in certain games, but he's not. And when we play a 3-4-3, I think the hesitation, I mean the option is there. And I would rather play like a 3-4-1-2/3-5-2 hybrid where we have someone who's playing centrally but can also occupy the right hand flank. So I'll get into that later on. Let me just quickly go through some comments. Sustainable Shooter says, yeah, it's our best back three pairing plus Romero on the right of the three means we have that cover for Emerson, which he showed yesterday. That's why it's so important that he plays there. Mr. says, sorry, my battery. I do want to see Rodon play left centre back alongside Dier and Romero. You know what? I would like to see Rodon introduced into this team. Why not, man? I don't think our defense is that good enough that he can't get a game. But I think when those three play, like it's culminated in us having sort of our better performances this season. I know Romero's been injured, but Romero is literally our best centre back, and Davies and Dier have been constants in our best performances when Romero was out. So whilst Rodon could get a couple games here and there, because we play Wednesday, then we play Saturday, then we play Tuesday, then we play Sunday or Saturday. So we're playing 4 games in the next 2 weeks. So I would be surprised if we didn't see Joe Rodon in this team. But as far as our best options are concerned, I think it really is Dier, Romero, and Ben Davies. Just going through some more comments. Big up Byron as well. He played in the touchline 5s. You did well today, man. You took your goal well. He says, big up Tobs should say, shame we took it out, but we move. At least City beat yesterday and you can cook Steve tomorrow. Facts with tax. The weekly update says, Kane is top 3 strikers in the world, saying it for time. Lewandowski, Benzema and Kane. Lukaku, Haaland, these stat padders are not close as pure footballers. We'll talk about Kane later on. But anyway, let's actually talk about the match, because I don't know what your perception of the game was, but me personally, I saw us coached to be quite flexible. And what I mean by that is, for me, the game plan was obvious from the get-go. Harry Kane was the focal point of the attack, so we try and get the ball into him. As soon as he gets the ball, Son off on his back, Kulusevski off on his back as well. So Son was making those runs on the left-hand side constantly or through central areas, and Kulusevski was making the same on the right-hand side. Now, Kulusevski's role for me was really, really important yesterday, man, because he was excellent. He was excellent. And I called out that fucking pony 2-bit reporter who was talking all that rubbish when we were 3 L's in our last 3 games. And he was saying stuff about, oh, Kulusevski still can't beat his man. Bentancur still giving away the ball, this, that, and the other. And he was so quick to get on their backs. But I've not seen anything. I've not seen anything from him to talk about the performances yesterday. Kulusevski was absolutely phenomenal. And let me just start off by saying every single player yesterday, to a man, literally the title of my video says it, so I don't need to say it. To a man, we were excellent. Even Hugo Lloris with his mistake, he was quality in the second half. He made two big stops. Two big stops. But Kulusevski, excellent. Harry Kane, world class. Son, decisive. Yeah. Højbjerg, that's the best game I've seen from Højbjerg in like a year. Literally. All round against a serious, that's the best game I've seen from Højbjerg in like a year, bro. No exaggeration. Yeah. Benton Cole, he lost the ball a couple of times, but he was excellent. His defending, covering ground, and then having the willingness to also to take the ball forward and to even play when under the most severe of pressure, man. That guy looks a really good signing for Spurs. I got to hold my hands up. I knew he was a good player, but I thought Spurs need something different midfield. And I still think we need that. I think we need that creative midfielder, but bruv, we can do a lot worse than Bentancur because he looks the part. He looks the part. Non-stop. Even Chicken Royale. Chicken Royale. Cancelo put him on his bum once. I remember Cancelo, he did really well on that side. I think he skipped past Kulusevski. Then he put Chicken Royale on his bum. And then I think he flashed the shot off at goal. But other than that, I think Emerson did okay defensively. Like Sustainable Shooter says, like someone like Emerson, you need a proper defender on that right-hand side to help bail him out. And that's Romero. Because as okay as Emerson was defensively, his side is still going to get targeted because they know that he's not good. And that's what Man City did. They were targeting his side for a lot of the games. Raheem Sterling started on the right-hand side and even he came on the left-hand side. But we stood up. We stood up to the test, man. We stood up to the test. Well, even Sessegnon, I don't rate Sessegnon. I think he's crap. I'll be honest. I think he's crap. But defensively, he did a job yesterday. I mean, he leaves a lot to be desired going forward. It's like the guy can't attack at all anymore. But defensively, he was okay, man. Like Man City are the most dangerous side in the league, and yet Phil Foden was quiet. Raheem Sterling was substituted. Cancelo's impact was limited. Yeah. Romero, absolute beast. He's the best defender I've seen at Spurs since our Belgian parent. He is absolute quality. He's so good. He's so good. I really don't understand how Spurs have been able to just steal a march on other sides and get a player of this caliber. He is an unbelievable centre-back. He is so good. Aerially, he's dominant. On the ground, he can pass the ball. He can play under pressure. He's good in 1v1 situations. He's fast. His reading of the game is really good. And his front-footed approach means that he wants to get ahead of play before it can hurt us. And 8 out of 10 times, he gets the ball. But anyway, yeah, I know I'm going through every single player. Dier was excellent as well. Ben Davies was excellent. But I want to zero in on Kulusevski's performance, man, because this is a kid who was getting hammered by our fan base. Already you could hear, oh yeah, this looks a crap signing for Spurs. Oh, this, that, and the other. And listen, Kulusevski, he played against Wolves and he wasn't good. I even tweeted it. I said the guy was poor. But he's young. He's got talent. You can't be rubbing these players out after like 3 substitute appearances because that's what they were. He's 21 years old. He's 21 years old. Don't blame Kulusevski for Spurs not doing the appropriate business in January. We all knew that Kulusevski was a player that's going to take some time to adapt. And even after his game yesterday, I expect Kulusevski to have games similar to Wolves between now and the end of the season. It's just football. It's just how it happens. It's football. He's going to have good games. He's going to have bad games. We just need to be measured in our assessment of this guy because yesterday I saw a player who, out of possession, was excellent on that right-hand side. Yeah. in addition to Romero and Emerson, he worked his socks off. Every single time the ball came to that right-hand channel, he would be ready to press Cancelo. He would be ready to confront Ilkay Gundogan. He would be ready to confront Raheem Sterling. He had the energy to help us form a free in midfield. So effectively, when we were out of possession, we had the 5 at the back. We had Emerson, Romero, Dier, Davies, Sessegnon, and then we had Højbjerg, Bentancur, and Kulusevski in the midfield. So we literally basically had two defensive lines that Man City couldn't break through. Like, they were excellent yesterday, and Kulusevski played a big part in that. When we were out of possession, it looked like a 3-5-2, but you noticed every single time Harry Kane got the ball, he was a willing runner. He was always an option on that right-hand side, always an option. Not only was he an option, when we got the ball into him, he had the quality and calmness to bring the ball down and feed people into play. Work his socks off. Work his socks off. And that's the type of player you want in this team. You want players who can work hard, but actually have the quality as well. He was decisive in the game for 2 goals. His touches in the game were really good. And his work rate off the ball was excellent. That was a fantastic performance from that young boy. He was quality. He was absolutely quality. And it tells you how well we played, that he probably wasn't even our top 2 performers. And he played that good. But anyway, let me just go through some more comments. JRG says, big up Højbjerg, really good performance last night. This is what he can do, Tobs. You all saw it in the Euros, how crucial he was for Denmark to be that progressor for them in that midfield. Listen, I'm not going to get carried away with Højbjerg. It doesn't change the season he's had, because he's been pathetic this season, but what a way to re-enter into this team. He was excellent. That was a dominant performance from him defensively. He was quality. He was quality. Him and Bentancur, they did everything in their power to disrupt Man City. The amount of times they nicked the ball off Rodri, or blocked Kevin De Bruyne crosses, or pressed Bernardo Silva, they were excellent. Or pressed Gundogan, like, they were really good, man. They were really, really good. Højbjerg, as I said, best game I've seen from him in the Spurs shirt in like a year. They were good. And today, I'm going to give these men their credit. I have to give them their credit. I felt the game plan was there for Spurs from the get-go. We scored in like the 4th minute. The game plan from Spurs was there from the jump, literally. And I think the one thing I did like about us is, whilst our playing out from the back isn't good, and what I mean by me saying isn't good is it's not consistently good. Like, we aren't able to play out from the back with ease. We can do it in some parts, and some parts we really struggle. In most parts we really struggle. But what I loved about us was that it didn't stop us from doing it. Like, normally we would just start to go along, and even though we did go along a couple times in the game, when you look at the goals and the chances that we constructed, it was as a result of us playing from the back and playing some really good football. You look at the first goal, Eric Dier to Ben Davies. Ben Davies steps infield and plays a really good pass to Harry Kane. Brave from Ben Davies, because if he loses the ball there, then we're in on goal. Yeah. Brave to Ben Davies. He plays it, and Harry Kane does what Harry Kane does best. On his left peg, he finds Son with an excellent pass, splits the defense. Diaz thought he was going to play offside. He didn't. Son was too smart for him. Kane was too smart for him, and we're in on goal. Kulusevski, willing runner, as I said, and he's on hand to tap it in 1-0. When you look at the build-up of all the chances we created, we played some really good football. We really did. Even the second goal as well, yeah. The ball gets worked well enough into Harry Kane. No, we nick the ball back. The ball gets fed to Harry Kane. Harry Kane tries to play a ball because Son is already busting his gut. Diaz makes a poor header. Sessegnon gets the ball, gives it to Son, and Son decisive yet again. Kane, what I loved about that run, the desire to get back into the box, and Son decisive. the touches of quality. This is why you almost put up with the Sun poor performances. They're not acceptable, but the guy has moments of quality that no other player in our team has apart from Harry Kane. He's so clutch. And that ball, inch perfect. Kane makes a great pass, bang, 2-1. And then you even look at the chance that we set up after that as well. It was really good football again. Really good football again. Yeah. I think the move starts from Davies or Dier. I can't remember. It gets played to Sessegnon. Bentancur's involved. Bentancur gets it from Sessegnon, drives the ball, gives it back to Cess. Cess drives with the ball, gives it back to Bentancur, who's made a run further upfield. Bentancur, one touch to Son. Son, one touch to Kane. Kane in on goal. Great save from Ederson. And then when you even look at the last goal, you look at how it was constructed. Again, really good football. This is not something that you associate with Spurs. Really good football. We were excellent in transition. And when we got it right with the ball playing at the back, it was good to see. Look at the last goal we scored. Patient, probing play. Yeah. That last goal involved so many players. So many players. And then the ball as well, yeah, to Romero. Again, he's really good at playing those like good infield passes. If there's one thing this guy knows how to do, he knows how to play a good infield pass or a good disguised pass. And he plays the pass into Bentancur, and Bentancur, first time, clips it over to Kulusevski. That's brilliant. Brilliant. And that's something that we don't see enough of from our midfielders. They don't have the quality to just pull off a pass like that. That should really be basic for a top level midfielder. And then Kulusevski's in on goal, comes in, cuts inside on his left, and picks up the perfect cross for Harry Kane to make it 3-2. I can speak on some of the things that we did wrong in this game, like Lloris's mistake, which I'll touch on in a second, our care with the ball and stuff. But in all honesty, I don't want to focus on the negatives. I actually just want to use this outlet to just praise Spurs for once, because we know there will be games where they will disappoint us again. It's just the facts of the reality. It's just the facts and the reality. We don't have a good enough side to play like that every week. So there will be games again this season where we will be disappointed with this team. But where they've put in a performance like that, we have to give praise where it's due. They were excellent. They were absolutely excellent. Even the goal that was ruled out for offside. Look at that pass from Ben Davies. Look at that pass from Ben Davies. He steps infield yet again and plays a ridiculous pass to Kulusevski. I didn't even know he had that pass in his locker. But yeah, it's just, I was so happy yesterday, and it's just like when you watch us play like that, it's just like, why can't you be this disciplined in the less important games, or the less pressurized games, or better yet, why can't you be this disciplined against the sides with lesser quality than Man City? Because that's what it is, right? Antonio Conte had his game plan. Antonio Conte has always had his game plan over the past couple of weeks. Granted, in some he should have gone with a 3. Granted, in some certain players shouldn't have started, but his game plan has always been there. Above all, the thing that has wrecked Spurs' results in the last week or so were the mistakes. And the one thing that made yesterday all the more better is there were not many mistakes. To a man, there were not many mistakes. In fact, I only count one major mistake, and that's Hugo Lloris. He spilled it. We know Lloris has these like disaster, like 2 or 3 weeks a season where he just makes costly errors in big games. But again, Hugo Lloris, you saw what he did in the second half. That save from Gundogan, from where we were sat, that looked like it was going top corner. And the fact that he's been able to stretch his hand and save that, fantastic save. And then I don't know what the Bernardo Silva save looked like, or I think it was Bernardo Silva or Cancelo, but the save where he's gone low and hard and he's tipped it for a corner. Like, honestly, he made a mistake on Wolves. Shocking. And he got berated for that, rightly so. He made a mistake yesterday and he deserves to get criticized for that mistake. But he showed in the second half what he's been showing pretty much all season, which is that this guy is still a top goalkeeper, despite his flaws. Still a top goalkeeper, despite his flaws. Let me just go through some more comments as well. Raza MCFC says, you beat us fair and square. To many of our attacking players didn't perform, and our defense stunk it up. Yeah, we'll talk about your defense in a second when I speak on Harry Kane. YG just says, Antonio. Jonathan says, Ben Davies, what a performance. Yep, fantastic performance. Sustainable Shooter says, yeah, exactly. Lloris made that mistake, but made the great save in the second half against Gundogan. Yep. Techers Dave says, great result. Man like Antobio, please cook Big Steve on the Big Six. Oh, I will. I'm going to cook him. I'm going to cook him. I'm going to cook Ponytail Grealish. I'm going to cook all of them. Tuchel says, it was really nostalgic to see Conte celebrate. Honestly, his passion is what really fuels my passion. Seeing him go mad on the touchline as well is just everything. Like, he loves it. He absolutely loves it. Amin says, Kane had me speechless. Him and Son are really being wasted by being surrounded by Deadwood. Arsenal fan. Let's talk about this. But first, let me just quickly go through the super chat. So big up Crest. Thank you for the super chat. He says, is the difference between Dier and Sanchez in this team this big? Is Sanchez that shit or is Dier that good? We look like two different teams with and without Dier. Mate. Listen, I've been skirting around it, but I'm going to have to talk about it. Yeah? And before you lot start, no, I do not think Eric Dier is a good centre-back. I think we need to see a prolonged period of consistency before we start saying things like that. But what I would say about Eric Dier is he has actually been our most reliable centre-back this season. Romero is the best by a distance, no doubt. But Romero also missed a good sort of 2.5 months of football. Dier, even in the games we've lost this season, has been consistent. He has been consistent. Maybe not to a high level, but he's been consistent. And the fact that the defense was as settled as it was when he was in the team versus when he wasn't in the team, it tells me something that I just probably didn't want to accept. But I can see now that Eric Dier is actually a mainstay in this team until we upgrade the central areas. He is. Until we upgrade the central areas, whether that's going to be in the summer, whether that's going to be in January, he's a mainstay in this team. He is. He gets protected in the back three, which for one. But even in the back two, he was fairly dependable this season. I think his playing out from the back is getting a little bit better. It's gone from 1 out of 10 passes completed to like 3 out of 10 passes completed. But yeah, I think he's making less errors in games. I think that's the one thing I like about Eric Dier's performances as of late. He's no longer that sort of consistently error-prone defender. I'm not saying that he's not error-prone because he will make mistakes. But when you look at the mistakes, the frequency of mistakes in comparison to previous seasons when he's played at centre-back, there's a difference. I don't know whether the pendulum has swung for Dier. I don't know. I think it's too early to say all of this stuff now. But if we assess it on what we're seeing in front of us, he actually brings that sort of, I can't believe I'm saying this, but he brings that sort of vocal authority. Big upside from New Spurs Order. He actually made this point like 2-3 weeks ago. And it made sense. But like, it was further emphasized by how bad we played against Wolves and Southampton, where Sanchez is looking to Romero is looking to Davies is looking to Doherty. Like, no one is taking accountability. No one is really sort of communicating with each other. And I think he basically gives that defense some balance. He gives it balance, and he gives it some sort of wow. Oh God, I don't even want to say this, but he actually gives it some sort of leadership. It's crazy. Eric Dier, I can't believe it. We are mudded that Eric Dier is the guy that I'm speaking about like this for our team, but he's just when he's between Romero and Davies, they just look better. Romero's class anyway, but yeah, our defense just looks better. It actually looks better. I can't even front. It looks better. Even when Romero wasn't in the team, when Davies and Dier were there, Davinson Sanchez looked better as well. Anyway, there, my eulogy on Dier is done. No more nice things for Dier, because you know what happens if you say too many nice things. He then reverts to type. So let me just stop talking. But I'm just going to go through some more comments. Just says Dier organizes the backline very well. To be fair, Jess says Dier's biggest trait for me this season is he makes centre backs between him better due to his composed leadership. Tuchel says, was Romero penalty correct decision, because some VR have given those as no handball. VAR is not fair to everyone. Listen, I'm not going to complain about the penalty. I can see why they've given it a penalty. Like, it is what it is. But me personally, I think Romero is unfortunate. You can call it being biased, maybe, but the way I see it is when a defender dives to try and block the ball, they can't dive with their hands by their hips, can they? They have to dive, and their hands are going to move when they're diving. And it's just unfortunate that his arm is raised as he's diving, and it's a penalty. You can't really fault. I can't remember who the ref was. Is it Taylor, Anthony Taylor? I can't even remember. But yeah, you can't fault Man City getting a penalty for that. If that was against Spurs, I'd be asking for a penalty too. And I think it's not a decision that Spurs should feel totally aggrieved by. They shouldn't. I think when you look at the replays, it's not good. Of course, there are mitigating circumstances. It's not good, but like, if I'm being honest, yeah, like, you can't complain of that decision. You really can't. You really can't complain on that decision. But yeah, anyway, to summarize, like, Dier, I think it's about time I actually give him credit. So I'm happy with what I said on Eric Dier. I think he's finally done enough this season for me to actually give him some praise. Ben Davies, listen, I was criticizing this guy last week, but he was fucking monstrous yesterday. He was so good. And then Romero, the best of the lot, like, he's excellent, man. He's excellent. What a player. What a player. That's our best back three. It has to be like that. It just has to be. For the important games, it has to be like that. It really does. And just game to game, it has to be like that. Lewis says, hi, Tobs. The passing out from the back for some of the goals was so good. It's just the lack of quality and belief to do this consistently. They can do it against City, but not against the lesser teams. Well said. And this is what I was saying earlier on. When you look at how our goals were constructed, it was as a result of really good build-up and playing out from the back. And clearly that's something that the coach is working on. But like you said, we don't have the personnel to execute this consistently well. But hopefully that belief will be there, considering they've been able to do it to a decent amount against a side like Man City. Before I speak on Harry Kane, so Jonathan says, thoughts on Ryan Sessegnon. Listen, Sess, he did what he needed to do defensively, and I think I'll praise him for that. I'm not going to say he played bad, because I don't think he did play bad. When he played against Liverpool, he had a really good game there as well. Defensively, he did well against Mo Salah. Sorry, guys, just wanted to mention as well, halfway through this, there's 348 of you live viewers. So make sure you smash a like. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Yeah, with Cess, I don't think he played bad. I think he was he was good defensively. He did what he needed to do defensively. But the problem with Cess is that what happens next is usually quite poor. I don't know what's happened to this guy, but going forward, he just looks a shadow of the player that I saw in the championship. Like his touch is kind of baggy, kind of heavy. In situations where you just want him to just burst and accelerate because he got pace, you don't see it happen. In situations where he should just be able to just give like a clever pass, he can't do it. In situations where he can run forward to try and deliver across, he can't do it. I just think with Ryan Sessegnon, he just has, it's like he's lost his attacking instinct. And I think with him as well, he just isn't intense enough. That's the biggest criticism I've had of Cess since he signed for Spurs. You're not intense enough, whether that's in his defensive actions or his offensive actions. He doesn't seem aggressive when he's on the ball, and he doesn't seem aggressive when he's off the ball. And we need some aggression in our wing backs when he's going forward. I don't know, man. Honestly, if I was Spurs, I would cash in on him in the summer. I think he's crap, but Antonio Conte wants to work with him for now. And listen, he's clearly proven that he's not a left back, and he's clearly proven that he's not a left winger. So it's a left wing back thing for him. And if there's any coach in world football that can sort of unearth the potential that Spurs saw and that we saw in him to pay the 30 million in the first place, it's Antonio Conte. But time will tell if he gets given the opportunity to stay beyond the summer. Okay, let me just go through some comments. So Coys, come on you Spurs, 1708 says, Tobs, I still have faith in Cess. I think he has potential, especially as a wing back. Remember, he's been unlucky with injuries since he signed. Yeah, he has been unlucky with injuries, but I'm not putting it all down to injuries, man. I'm not putting it all down to injuries. He went on loan at Hoffenheim, and it was an okayish loan. But in the games he's played for Spurs, he's not exactly been great in all of them. He played against Pacos. Didn't he get sent off? Or was it Moura he got sent off? He played against Pacos, he wasn't good. I think Moura game he got sent off. He played against Morecambe, wasn't good. Like Sessegnon he may not have started loads of games for Jose Mourinho, but we've seen enough of Cess to suggest that he isn't at the level for Spurs. And I don't think that's an unfair statement to make. But anyway, let me move away from that because I think defensively he did his job. The fact that we didn't really hear much of Phil Foden is testament to the job that Cess did defensively. So props to him. Big up to you, Ryan Sessegnon. Okay. Now, bloody hell, I said I was going to do this in 35 minutes, but I couldn't. Listen, I can talk the back legs of a donkey after yesterday's result, but I have to speak about this guy, man. I have to speak about Harry Kane. I have to speak about this guy. Class is permanent. It's the one thing I've reminded every single one of my mates all season, because it's not been an easy season for Harry Kane. He's had his pelters, and rightly so, because he was putting in some shocking performances in the first half of the year. But it seems like a flick has switched since Antonio Conte has come in. The willingness to play for Spurs, to run, to work for the team, it's there. The finishing is getting better and better and better. His finishing's been off key for most of the season. But in the last few weeks, the finishing is getting better and better. You look at the goal he scored against Brighton. Fantastic. You look at the goal he scored against Leicester. The composure. Fantastic. Yeah. You look at the goal he scored yesterday. Instinctive header. The second goal. When he had four attempts yesterday. He had 4 attempts on goal yesterday, and every single one of them were on target. One was disallowed for offside, but the other, Edison made a great save for one, and the two, you obviously know what happened. He scored the goal to put us 2-1 up, and he scored the goal to win us the game. Isn't that what they say, right? Oh, Harry Kane, he's not clutch, he's not this, he's not that. Anyway, sorry, 1 second. Let me just put in the super chat. Big up Lubert. He says, Tobs, I'm an Arsenal fan, but since I ever saw you on the Big Six, I'm your subscriber and I'm waiting for the Big Six because I want to see Steve. It's going to be lit. Thank you, bro. Thank you for the super chat, man. Yeah, I'm going to chef Steve up tomorrow. I'm going to slice him. I'm going to slice him and carve him up like roast on Sunday. Him, all of them. I'm coming for blood. But back on Harry Kane, the finishing. Listen, it's a problem for the rest of the league. It's a problem for the rest of the league. Like, the finishing edge looks to be back. It looks to be back. Yeah. And for all the, so he's got, Harry Kane has got what? He's got 20, he's got 7 goals, 7 league goals in 21 appearances, 22 appearances this season, which is poor. Let's be real, it's poor for any sort of half decent striker, let alone a world-class striker like Harry Kane. But this is a striker that still looks like he's probably going to end up with 12 to 15 goals. That's my expectation for him this season. I think he'll get 12 to 15 league goals. We've played what, 23 league games. We have 15 more league games. 15 more league games where Harry Kane needs to score at least 8 goals to get 15 league goals in the season. You will back Harry Kane every day of the week to score 8 and 15. He's just quality, man. Yesterday, razor sharp, like, even beyond the fact that he was just razor sharp in the box, the mere fact that the chances were falling to him is what we want. Because at times when Harry Kane does his playmaking, he's too far removed from the box. When the attack moves into the final third, he's nowhere to be found. But what we loved about that performance yesterday was that not only was he doing what he needs to do in build-up, but he was there to help finish off the moves as well. And Antonio Conte spoke about it after the full-time whistle and said that they're working to make Harry Kane a focal point. He's basically saying, yeah, the assists are great. Yeah, the playmaking is great. And we want to utilize that part of Harry Kane in our build-up. But we also want him to score because he's our star striker. When he's scoring, we're a better side. And that should be, for me, the main objective. Get Harry Kane into good goal-scoring positions. And you can clearly see that that's something that Antonio Conte is working on. But anyway, I spoke about it briefly at the start. He's an unbelievable striker, man. I remember in the summer, people tried to compare him to Lukaku, and I like Lukaku, but really, he's still the best striker in the Premier League by some distance. Still. There is no striker in the Premier League that is close to Harry Kane. And before you lot tell me Salah and stuff, Salah's not a striker for me. I'm talking about number 9s. There's no striker close to Harry Kane. Not one. And it's not just because he had 4 attempts at goal, 4 on target. 3 if you exclude the offside. But when you look at his approach play as well, that's what puts him right up there with Benzema and Lewandowski. The fact that he is a 2 and 3 goal scorer and he can still do the stuff that he did yesterday. Diaz and Laporte, they had poor games, yes, but they had poor games because Harry Kane didn't let them have good games. Yeah. He bullied Laporte. Whenever they tried to get close, he would bully Laporte. When Laporte would try to get close, he would bully him, he would roll off him, and we're off on a move, and he's splitting their defense. When they sat off him because they wanted to try and look at the runners, he just punished them. Like, he's playing off these passes with his weaker foot. Look at the pass for the first goal. That's on his left peg. There aren't even midfielders who can make that pass on their stronger foot, and he's making that pass on his weaker foot. He's making that pass on his weaker foot. Look at the pass. 2 passes to Emerson each time, one on his left foot, one on his right. His switcher play is ridiculous. The pass he played to Son as well. If Son had a better first touch there, he would have been in. The passes he was playing to Kulusevski as well. He's quality. He's quality. He's absolutely quality. And I just love that it was against Man City as well, because there was all that talk in the summer. I remember, oh, Spurs, you should take 120 million, stuff like that. Listen, we may have made mistakes in our sort of communication with Man City, because Pep said, oh, we didn't want to speak. But I'm sorry, when I'm seeing Jack Grealish get signed by Man City for 100 million, don't you dare tell me that Spurs should be accepting something similar for Harry Kane. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's what people wanted Spurs to do. They wanted Tottenham to take Jack Grealish plus 10 million for Harry Kane, a player that is actually twice the player. And I'll say that with chest, he's twice the player. He's achieved more in world football. He's done more in world football. He's played in the Champions League. He's scored in 2 major tournaments. He's literally the captain of his country. And yesterday, he reminded people why he is still an elite striker against the best side in the league. He ran them ragged. Ran them ragged in the box, ran them ragged outside the box. He was quality, and his work rate was unbelievable. This is a guy that's having to play every single game, mind you. Every single game, because we don't have a first choice striker. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. And I'm still going to keep waxing lyrical about him until he gives me a reason not to. He is a supreme striker. He is. And the hating has to stop. Even if you don't like him, just acknowledge how good he is. Because some of the nonsense I was hearing when Kane wasn't playing well was just recency bias, and just, oh my God, it was doing my nutting. Doing my nutting. Yeah. Big up Steve as well. Steve, you're going to get it tomorrow as well, because I told Steve they didn't need Jack Grealish. They needed a Harry Kane. They needed a Harry Kane. He says, calm down. Calm down. Now you got 3 points. When's the documentary out? See you tomorrow. Get the pina coladas out. Listen, boy, I think I might actually have some ingredients for a pina colada, so I might even make some tomorrow. Fuck it, why not? But yeah, listen, Kane, Steve knows, to be honest, Steve knows how good Harry Kane is. He knows how good Harry Kane is. So that performance wasn't surprising to him. But I think, yeah, Diaz and Laporte, they got a rude awakening, man. To be honest, Laporte doesn't really play well against Spurs. He's always got a mistake in him when it comes to Spurs. You saw it last season in the 2-0 loss, saw it in the Champions League as well. Saw it in the 2-2 draw. I think it was him that Lucas Moura out jumped when we drew that game 2-2 at the Etihad. But yeah, I've run out of superlatives for Kane. He was quality, man. He was quality. Class. Class is permanent. Listen, people talking about this, the trophies and stuff. Yeah, the trophies thing, you can't get away from that. Well, he's 28 years old. I think he's still got, with the years that loads of players are playing in. Lewandowski's 34, 35. Benzema's 34, 35. He's still got years to win his trophies. Still got years to win his trophies. Kane destroyed us, period. Well said, Steve. AJ says, Steve sweating over this title race. Now, listen, to be fair, if you had listened to Steve throughout on the Big Six, he's always been a believer that the title race was never done. He's actually said that on multiple occasions, that it was going to go right up until the end. And I think a lot of what he said has been proven right. He mentioned about Chelsea falling away, and then he mentioned Liverpool coming back into it. So, yeah, that was a big loss for Man City. I think Liverpool obviously got the game in hand. They will need to capitalize. But yeah. And just as an FYI as well, all this, Kane, not a big game guy. That's 3-2 now against Liverpool and Man City in the Premier League this season. Granted, he didn't score against Chelsea. Granted, he didn't score against Man United. Granted, he didn't score against Arsenal. But listen, we play Man United in 3 weeks in Old Trafford, so we'll see what's what. And then the Arsenal game hasn't been rescheduled yet, but when it gets rescheduled, we'll see what's what. I'm hearing a lot of Arsenal fans talk about Gabriel and White, talk about how they pocketed him at the Emirates. Boy, let's see what happens at our ground. Let's see what happens at our ground. And first, finally, the one man I want to praise, Antonio Conte, fantastic manager. Fantastic manager. You see what happens when he gives this team a game plan and we don't make the mistakes, we're able to get a result like that. Unfortunately, this team's not good enough to put a performance like that every game. But listen, he's trying, man. Because all them reactionary takes around, oh, what's Antonio Conte improved? Oh, what's this? What's that? It was ridiculous. 3 losses on the spin, and now all of a sudden you can't see what he's improving at Spurs. You can't see that Ben Davies has clearly gone from being a complete invalid at Spurs to being a nailed-on starter in our team. You can't see the strides that Dier has made under Conte. You can't see the form that Harry Kane has had under Conte. You can't see the willingness to actually play out from the back in style. You can't see any of that. You can't see players coming in out of the cold and putting in good performances like Harry Winks before he turned back to mush, like Sessegnon against Man City and Liverpool. Spurs' squad isn't good. It's a poor squad. I don't mean poor as in relegation standard. I mean poor relative to where we're trying to be. We want to be a top 4 team, but we don't have a top 4 squad. We don't have a good top 4 squad. But when you look at the statistics, how can you say that Antonio Conte hasn't improved Spurs? How can you even question what he's improved? That's what really irked me the most about after the fact that we're losing ground in the top 4 race. That's what really irked me the most. People now, after 3 games, they're trying to let 3 games undo what you've seen in the last 2.5 months. It was just, yeah. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking because then people are going to start pretending as if I'm overgassing Spurs. I'm really not. I'm just giving you the real. I'm just giving you the real. Anyway, Burnley's going to be a big game on Wednesday. I'd be lying to you if I said that it wouldn't be in Spurs' nature to go there and drop points, because it is. We could easily go there and drop points easily. But the hope is we use Man City as momentum heading into that game, because there's 2 away games against Burnley and Leeds, man. You can just see Spurs being Spurs and just make these games a lot more difficult than they need to be. Burnley have actually picked up some form as well. They got a point against Man United at home. They played really well against Brighton and got I think it was a 3-0 result or 2-0 result. So it's not going to be easy games for Spurs, but no game is easy between now and the end of the season for top 4. So you already know my views on top 4. I'm not going to use it to dampen what is a really sort of positive result for Spurs. But until Spurs prove that they can do this on a more consistent basis, my opinion won't change. But to summarize, excellent performance against Man City. To play like that against the champions at their ground, it's no easy feat. So congrats to the lads, congrats to Antonio Conte, but the work isn't done. We still need more wins. We still need more wins. Anyway, 355 of you in here now. Please smash the likes. Please subscribe to my channel. Please look out for any content dropping this week as well. So the THFC show is going to be on Fuad's channel this week. Make sure you bring your alcohol, because we're going to be celebrating. We're going to be celebrating the result again in that stream. The Big 6 tomorrow is the big one. Do not miss the Big 6. The Big 6 is going to be fireworks tomorrow. That one, you got to be there. Let me even check what time. I think it's 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. I can't remember, but you have to be there. It's gonna be a madness. It's gonna be a madness. Skullduggery is probably cooking up a storm right now. And then on the Friday, Thursday, Friday, I might do a little preview of KG. So yeah, look out for that. And yeah, stay blessed. Keep up the support, and thank you for your support on my channel as well. See you midweek, or see you tomorrow. Yeah, take care. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Peace out.